Welcome to the class. We were discussing valency bond theory. We will discuss some examples of valency bond theory in this class also. First, we will discuss about trifluorochlorine or ClF3. In order to discuss the structure of ClF3 according to valency bond theory, first we need to know the electronic configuration of central atom. Here, chlorine is the central atom. Chlorine is the central atom, and there are three bonds with three fluorine atoms. Cl forms three bonds with three fluorine atoms. Now, atomic number of chlorine, electronic configuration, what is the atomic number? It's 17. Electronic configuration,
Egg.
it is neon, 3s2, 3p5, and we need d orbitals for the bonding. So we also take d orbitals. Of course, there are no electrons in d orbitals. We will take it like this: neon, 3s, 3p, and 3d. Yeah, in order to generate three bonds with fluorine, we must have three single electrons. But in chlorine, there is only one single electron, right? So chlorine must undergo excitation. That means chlorine will excite one of the one of the lone pair of electrons, one of the electron from 3p orbital to 3d orbital. So because of this excitation, we will have three unpaired electrons. I'll just write outermost orbital configuration only. This is 3s, this is 3p, and 3d. Now we need three single electrons in order to generate three single bonds, three sigma bonds. So there were two electrons in this orbital. Now we are exciting one electron from here to next orbital. Next empty orbital is 3d orbital. So when this electron is excited from 3p to 3d, now we have three single electrons, 1, 2, 3. So we have three single electrons. So chlorine can generate three sigma bonds. So these orbitals, what are the orbitals which are involved in hybridization? All the valency orbitals. Of course, the bonding orbitals have two p orbitals and one d orbital, but all the valency orbitals will involve in hybridization. Okay, not only the orbitals which are involving in bond, but all the valency orbitals will involve in hybridization. So undergo S 3 p orbitals and 1 d orbital, right? 1 s orbital, 3 p orbitals and 1 d orbital. So undergoes sp3d hybridization. It undergoes sp3d hybridization. Therefore, electronic configuration of chlorine in ClF3 is neon, of course. I have written the orbitals same as in the previous case, but what we will do, we will name them as sp3d orbitals. You know, after hybridization, we don't change the representation of orbitals in this form only, but we will rename them. Here they are atomic orbitals, now they are hybrid orbitals, sp3d hybrid orbitals. sp3d hybrid orbitals. Now the electronic configuration is, of course, there are 2 electrons in first orbital, 2 electrons in second orbital, 1 electron here, 1 here and 1 here. Now fluorine donates 3 electrons. Each fluorine will donate 1 electron. So each fluorine will donate 1 electron, so that 3 fluorines will form sigma bonds with with central chlorine atom. Now with sp3 hybridization, what is the structure of the molecule? With sp3d hybridization, the structure of the molecule is trigonal bipyramidal shape. Trigonal bipyramidal. Now we will try to draw the structure of ClF3 molecule and try to place these 3 fluorine atoms and these 2 lone pairs in the molecule. Now if it is sp3d hybridization, then the shape is trigonal bipyramid. What is trigonal bipyramid? This is the trigonal shape. This is the trigonal shape, and bipyramidal, that means one bond above the plane, one bond below the plane. So this is trigonal bipyramid. This triangle is in plane, and this bond is above the plane, this bond is below the plane. You know, we can write this bond also from chlorine, but generally you see whenever you want to look at below the plane, this will be obscured, this will not be visible to the eye. If you want to visualize this, you just place your palm like this and place a pen like this. Okay, you can't see the entire pen, right? If you place a pen under your palm, you can't see the entire pen, you can only visualize a small portion of the pen, right? So this is how I have written this. Because this position it is obscured, I don't write it completely. Okay, right. Now in trigonal bipyramidal shape, we have 5 positions, 3 positions in triangle and 2 positions, one is above the plane, another one is below the plane. These positions are called equatorial positions. The position in triangle is called equatorial position. The positions above the plane and below the plane, they are called axial positions. The positions above the plane and below the plane, they are called axial positions. So we have three equatorial positions and two axial positions. Now we will look at the bond angles. The bond angle in the plane, that means in the triangle, it is 120 degrees. The bond angle out of the plane, that means either above the plane or below the plane, it is 90 degrees. The bond angle in the plane, it is 120 degrees. The bond angle out of the plane is 90 degrees. Right. So the bond angle, we have two different bond angles, 120 degrees in the plane and 90 degrees out of the plane. Now we want to place three fluorine atoms and two lone pairs. See, this is one lone pair of electrons, this is another lone pair of electrons. So out of the 5 positions, we need to place two lone pairs and three fluorine atoms. Now, when we want to place lone pairs and atoms, we must always follow this rule. We must always look for the repulsions. Now, the repulsion between lone pair is always greater than lone pair bond pair, and which is in turn greater than bond pair bond pair. What is lone pair of electrons? Electrons which are not involved in bonding, a pair of electrons which are not involved in the bonding, they belong to the atom. What is bond pair? A pair of electrons which are in the bond. Okay. Now, repulsion energies, lone pair, that means repulsions between lone pair and lone pair are always greater. So because of repulsions, we will have instability. If there is a great repulsion, we will have instability. It is an instability factor. So we must always place the lone pairs far from each other. We must place the lone pairs far from each other. Now, when we want to look at the places where we can place lone pairs, we need to consider the longer bond lengths first. Bond angles. We need to consider longer or higher bond angles. Now, in the plane, we have 120 degrees, and out of the plane, it is 90 degrees. 120 degrees bond angle is larger than 90 degrees. That means when we place the lone pairs in the plane, that means at equatorial positions, they will be separated to maximum extent. But if we place the lone pairs at equatorial positions, they are not at the maximum possible separation. So it is a good practice to place these two lone pairs equatorial positions. That means in the plane, anywhere, either these two places or these two places or these two places, any two places. Okay. So this is the criteria for placing lone pairs. Now the lone pair repulsions are greater, so they will lead to maximum instability. So we must place the lone pairs first. Then the remaining places will be filled with fluorine. We have 3 fluorine atoms, so we will place 3 fluorines here. Now the shape of the molecule is trigonal bipyramid with 2 positions occupied by lone pairs. Generally, we don't consider lone pairs in the shape of the molecule. We just omit lone pairs to discuss the shape of the molecule. So when we don't consider these two lone pairs, now the shape of the ClF3 molecule looks like a T shape. It looks like T shape. So the overall shape is T shape, and bond angle. Generally, we can expect 90 degrees and 90 degrees, but here it is not exactly 90 degrees. It will be little bit lesser than 90 degrees. So when we consider this fluorine to fluorine bond angle, generally we can say it is 180 degrees if it is a perfect T shape, okay, between these two fluorines. But here we have two lone pairs which will have very high repulsions. So in order to minimize the repulsions, what will happen, these two lone pairs will push towards fluorine. So these fluorines will also be pushed like this. So the bond angle is not exactly 90 degrees or 180 degrees. It is 175 degrees. The bond angle is little bit decreased. The bond angle between these two fluorines will be 180 degrees if it is a perfect linear shape. But because of the repulsions between these lone pairs, they will push these two fluorines little inwards. So the bond angle will decrease to 175 degrees. You practice the structure of BrF5, IF7 in a similar fashion. I will explain the structure of XeF2. You practice the structure of XeF4, XeF6. Now look at this XeF2 molecule. Here the central atom is xenon, and there are two bonds with two fluorine atoms. So electronic configuration of xenon is krypton 4d10 5s2 5p6. Of course, we also need d orbitals for explaining the bondings, but there are no electrons. Now we will rewrite this krypton 4d10 also we are not writing. We will only consider this 5s 5p 5d. Now there are 2 electrons in 5s, 6 electrons in 5p, and there are no electrons in 5d. Now in order to generate two bonds with two fluorine atoms, we must have two single electrons. But in xenon, all the electrons are paired. So what we need to do, we need to excite one of the electrons from p orbital to the d orbital so that we will have two unpaired electrons. Therefore, electronic configuration xenon in excited state. Generally, this is considered as ground state. Now, what I am writing is excited state. 4d10, 5s, 5p, 5d. We just need only two single electrons. So we will excite one of the electron from 5p to 5d. Now we have our please mute all of you please mute your mics. Now we have two electrons.
సార్ 5s సార్ 5d అని రాశారు.
Oh sorry. So these two orbitals will involve in bonding, but as I said, all the valency orbitals will involve in hybridization. So they undergo sp3d hybridization. You write the next step, I'm not writing it. Now, with sp3d hybridization, what is the shape of the molecule? Shape of the molecule is trigonal bipyramid, trigonal bipyramid, but there are 3 lone pairs in the molecule. So Xe, as I said, first we will place the lone pairs in the plane because they are separated by 120 degrees bond angle, and the 2 fluorines will be placed at the axial positions. 3 lone pairs are placed at equatorial positions. The 2 fluorines are placed at axial position. So when we generally omit lone pairs when we discuss about the overall structure. So without lone pairs, it is a linear molecule, a linear shape. What is the shape of this molecule? It is linear shape with the bond angle 180 degrees.